Okay, good afternoon. Yes, we are here again. Last Sunday we appreciated one of the sections in the Lord's Prayer that is usually translated as if it is a request. It's translated as if it is a request. Do not lead us into temptation. As if we are requesting for God not to lead us into temptation, but actually we realize the semantics, the language used by the author, not only Matthew but even Luke, all over the Lord's Prayer, they emphasized that that one is not a request. It is a subjunctive, and it is negated, meaning that they're telling you that leading people into temptation has never happened. God cannot lead people into temptation. You do not lead us into temptation. It was a statement, you see, a Christian statement based on that is trying to revolutionize Jewish mentality, that temptations come from God. Yeah. So now that we know that we have seen that temptations, God does not lead anyone to temptation. We have a lot of accounts in the Old Testament that need explanation, and one of them is the book of Job. Yeah, because many people who present to us the book of Job are trying to show us that God, together with the devil, there was a conspiracy between God and the devil to tempt Job. Not so. And so the subject of suffering, the suffering that Job is facing, was brought about by God. Yeah, but the New Testament has clarified that no, God has never led anyone into temptation. In fact, James, not many people always get James's context, but this time is very clear. In James chapter 1, James chapter 1, verse 16.
Don't be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of...
Read 13, James 1:13.
When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone.
You continue.
But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed.
Yeah, we can leave that. The 13, that no one should say God is tempting me, because God does not tempt anyone. Yes, that one is. It was able to come out in James. It is surprised. It's impressive, not? That one was called that God does not tempt anyone. So he's in line with the Lord's Prayer, that you do not lead us into temptation. No, you do not lead us into temptation. Sure. Now, what does the book of Job mean? What does the book? In fact, one of the groups where I posted that poster and that initial statement. Then he was a doctor. He said, "Yeah, but why in the Lord's Prayer we normally say lead us into temptation?" Then I told him, you missed last Sunday's what? Someone I just had to post it to him. So what does these accounts mean? So that's how we come to the book of Job. Job chapter 1. Remember, we in the Bible study we have been saying that those very first verses, most of the time they will give you a lot about the author, about the book, about the audience, and if you just rush into stories without analyzing the very first ones, you miss a lot. And so this one is also another. Job 1:1. You can read.
In the land of Uz, there lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil.
Evil can end. In the land of Uz, he's specific, he's particular, he's directing you where to go. That you go to the land of Uz. In the land of Uz, there lived a man. Now, this verse, he explains about the man. This man was blameless and upright. So we have about 3 things to analyze in this. We have the land, we have a man who is not a man, and then he explains more about the man, so that you know what he's talking about. If you have heard about this story, the moment he talks about this man, something should come to your mind. If that concept does not come to your mind, that means you have not grasped that concept well. That it is all over, and it has affected the Bible. And what does he say? He said this man was blameless and upright, and he feared God and shunned the evil. What type of a man is that one? He's trying to say he's a righteous man. Are you understanding? We are dealing with the righteous man. In the land of Uz, there was a righteous man, and then this righteous man began to suffer. Do you feel that? A righteous man who began to suffer. Cohesion? Are those ideas coherent? No, they are not. A righteous man to begin to suffer. Let us go slow. What does the Deuteronomic theology say? Let us go to the Deuteronomic theology, so that we understand the scripture. Deuteronomy 28. But we get the big idea, then we explain it. Now we are. That's true. Different people. But now we are dealing with the author of Job. For him, what does he have in mind? The author of Job. Why does he bring suffering? You read 28. Start from 1.
If you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully follow his commands that I give you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations on earth. All these blessings will come on you and accompany you if you obey the Lord your God. You will be blessed in the city and blessed in the country. The fruit of your womb will be blessed. The crops of your land, the young of your livestock, the calves of your herds, and the lambs of your flocks, your basket and your kneading trough,
you can end that,
will be blessed.
Blessing. If you obey, if you're obedient, if you are righteous, blessings. Are you understanding?
However,
you got 15.
However, if you do not obey the Lord your God and do not carefully follow all his commands and decrees I'm giving you today, then all these curses will come on you and overtake you.
20. You got 20.
The Lord will send on you curses, confusion, and rebuke in everything you put your hand to until you are destroyed and come to sudden ruin because of the evil you have done in forsaking him.
22.
The Lord will strike you with wasting disease, with fever and inflammation, with scorching heat and drought, with blight and mildew, which will plague you until you perish.
Are you listening? The Lord, it is God himself he is going to strike you. First of all, he's going to begin with your property. Hammer. Property. Your businesses, your cows, your whatever. After that, your children, your offspring. You understand? Why? Because you are not righteous. You're not obedient. You understand it? Yes. So in Israel, in the Israel mindset, whenever they would see someone who struggling with the children, someone whose business is struggling, cows, what, someone with diseases, they just know where the problem is. You understand? So the equation was very simple. Tochina mulimu. Mukama wa mukola kibanna. You don't have a job. For 5 years you don't have a job. You are jobless. Yes, for 5 years you don't have a job. In Israel, in the Israel mindset, the Hebrew mindset, that is obvious. You are unrighteous. There is a problem. There is a problem. You are unrighteous. So when you are righteous, when you are righteous, when you are righteous, the following does not happen to you. Number one, your agriculture is okay. When it rains, yours is supposed to be reserved. If other gardens are destroyed because of the rain, yours is supposed to be what? Yeah, because you tithe. Understand? You are married to a specific wife. You understand? You do this. You give offerings. You do this. Secondly, your trades, all of them, are up to date. Your profits, you can balance everything because you are upright. You are righteous. So the author of Job had this problem to solve. You understand? So this sheikh, he was a sheikh. It was written by a sheikh. The book of Job was written by a sheikh. Yes, a sheikh. Sheikh, S-H-E-I-K, sheikh. Now, sheikh in the Middle East, currently it's used as a slang to a man, to refer to a man who is good at enticing women. Yes, you can Google and find these things. So the word sheikh is in the Middle East is a slang for a man who is good at enticing what? As women, yes. But its history, where the word came from, the theology of the word, it had scholarship. A scholar in religious matters specifically was called what? A sheikh. Yes. Now today it is attached to a religion, particular religion, Muslim. They are known as Muslim sheikhs. Yeah, but it was in the Middle East now, and we are dealing with the land of Uz. You understand? Now the land of Uz, which one is this land? The land of Uz is it is the Dead Sea, southeast of the Dead Sea. All that land, the southeast of the Dead Sea, along the Arabian desert, is the land of Uz, and it's the land. Job gives you a hint. I mean, the author gives you a hint. The land is talking about when he talks about the friends of Job, where they came from. Say this one came from this one. It is the chapter 2 verse. When you read Job chapter 2 verse. His friends, where his friends come from.
11, verse 11.
Yes.
When Job's 3 friends, Eliphaz, the Temanite, Bildad, the Shuhite, and Zophar, the Naamathite. So all these lands, they first of all, they are not Jewish lands. You note that. They are not Jewish land. We are dealing with Gentile land. I mean, lands that are not Jewish, they are not in the covenant. You understand? So now a question comes, another question that scholars ask, was the author Jewish? Was he Jewish? Yeah, and so some think, no. According to the evidence, he's in the land of Uz. The thing he's talking about, there is nowhere in Job they mention about Jerusalem, temple, those things that Jews are mad with. They are nowhere.
Jewish traditions are not in this book, you see. So one theory tends to go by this author was not Jewish, but another thing that is plausible says that he might have been Jewish, but he was outside Jewish land. You understand? So he knew the concept in Judaism and he wanted to solve the problem. The problem he wanted to solve was the Deuteronomic theology that attaches suffering to what? To relationship with God. You understand? So he was a sheikh. You see why he was a sheikh. He was a wise man. And this book, no wonder it is categorized as one of the wisdom literatures. Yeah? In the Bible, in the Old Testament, there's a segment called the wisdom literature. So that segment begins with the book of Job. Book of Job, Proverbs, Psalms, and then Songs of Songs. They're writing about reality, about life. They sat down and reasoned. You see, no wonder someone who is able to write the book of Songs of Songs, that person is wise. Eh? You understand? Or who comes out and writes about life, the way it's supposed to be in the area of love. You understand? So this man outside, if probably you can say he was like Paul. Paul was a Hellenistic Jew. Paul, he was a Jew who was born outside. So he was exposed. He had accumulated wisdom. Said, so he looked for a way of teaching his people by writing. So you are seeing the Sheikh writing. So he's beginning that in the land of Uz, who there lived a man who is righteous. First of all, he's telling them that since we don't know about Job, whether he's anywhere in the Jewish Hebrew genealogy, he's also telling them that righteous people exist even outside what?
Of
Jewish covenant. You understand? Yes. Neno naffe tubakola ki? Tubayina. Tebali ya mudini ya mwe yokka. Yowaffe gye bali. Oba kitegedde buli wamu webali. So he's breaking particularism. He's bringing universalism. There is a way radically. You see? He's saying no. The thing is universal. So the man who was righteous, he was upright, he was very rich. His name is Job. Now we come to what the most problematic part. We are seeing angels and devils coming. What is happening? Yes, because that one confuses people. Yes, but when you read the book of Job carefully, so he said, verse 4,
Chapter 1?
Verse 6.
Chapter?
Verse 1. We're in verse 1.
Okay. One day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them.
You can read there. One day the angels came to what? To present themselves before the Lord. Now, what is he writing? There is something consistent with the Old Testament that this man, this sheikh is talking about. He's talking about the heavenly council. You see? You see? When you begin with the book of Genesis, you are introduced to the us. Yeah? The us. Let us. And we have most people have gotten their understanding of Trinity in that, but there is no Jew who was thinking about Trinity when he was writing about the us in Genesis. What did they have in mind? They had a council. In Jewish teaching, and they understand God has a what? Oruchiko. He always calls what? The council. So you read the Second Kings, you will see that he wrote a council. I was called into one prophet said I was taken to the council. So he always calls a what? A council. Now in this council there was we have a problem. If you have a good Bible that has footnotes, Bibles that have footnotes that try to clarify, they will put when they reach the word Satan, they will put something to show you that you go to the footnotes. Yes.
It means adversary.
Now, in the language, the language that is used, there is an article. That is very important. There is that an article on that word. It is not Satan that's hanging like that. It is the Satan. In Hebrew, it is Ha-Satan, the Satan. So it is referring to a function. It is a title. You see? It is a title of someone who does something in that council. We're not seeing the devil meeting God. Never. Wanna see Satan or understand good. Now the name, this word Satan had a function before the Jewish and Christian theology baptized it with the devil. This is very, very long time, and when you read the book of Job, it was written very, very, very long time. So we are dealing with the Satan. Now, who is the Satan? In this council, the Satan, what does he do? He's a prosecutor. Do you know government prosecutors? Eh? What do they do? If you have been in court,
government prosecutor, you are they allege a crime against you, but their role is to convict. Their role is to convict you and let legal justice take charge.
They cross-examine you. They are the ones responsible. In other words, they want to find out whether you are guilty or not guilty. They are the ones who do the job to ask you questions. So he's a prosecutor. So in that council, there was an angel whose role is what? To prosecute affairs on earth. Are you understanding? Yes, that is his role, to prosecute, and it is consistent with what? With the Bible. Is not we not only know about him here in the book of Job, we also know him in other books in the Old Testament. Let us go to Zechariah, so that you see that this is not something new in the Old Testament. Chapter. That book has one chapter. Chapter 3. I think it's verse 1. Verse 1.
Zechariah 3. Yeah, Zechariah 3. 1. Then he showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the angel and the Lord, and Satan standing at his right side to accuse him.
So the English translation, the word they normally use is to accuse, but it is to prosecute in the real Hebrew understanding, to prosecute. So we are seeing God in his council has a prosecutor. There is, in that council, there is an angel whose function is to prosecute affairs. So we are seeing the angel saying, it's a question, it's a prosecuting question. Not that it is the devil asking, you understand? They are investigating. So this angel's purpose was to what? To investigate. And this angel sat on the council in heaven. So we're not dealing with the devil. What? Pardon? Yes, that's what we're saying. Satan in the language used here, they are dealing with Satan before the name gained popularity in Judaism and Christianity as the what? The devil. You understand?
It's also like in the Buganda religion, they do not agree that there is Satan, as in devil who is bad. They say that God has a council of people who help him out. So there is one who prosecutes, there is one who protects, there is one who does, so something of that nature.
So we're doing with Jewish mindset that's saying that God has a council, and in that council there is a what? A prosecutor. He prosecutes affairs, not that he So you can see where these things come from. Yes, but now we are dealing with the book, the author of Job. For him, is using it to answer what? ng'alina kyakuba kiki kyakuba ye ali ku Deuteronomy chapter 28 kubanga yali yasimba amakanda mu Buyudaaya. No wonder even Jesus time bamubuuza ono ani yayonoona, you are aware ono ani yayonoona, ono mulwadde alina ebigenge ani yayonoona famire ye oba kitegedde. So kyali kyalya Obuyudaaya. So this sheikh nagamba no, I must write to solve it. So he's writing to solve this problem. And what is the statement that cuts across the general? There are many lessons to learn in the book of Job, but the general theme, I mean the big idea, the lesson is used to break in Judaism. What is the lesson? He's saying even the righteous suffer. N'abatuukirivu bakola ki? Balumwa, babonaabona, balwala. In Judaism, only sinners suffer. Only sinners get diseases. So he's telling you that even the righteous suffer. That is the big idea of the book of Job. If you read it and you have never gotten that, obo eyawandika kyagamba oba tokifunye. If you go away with the stories, ate guli najja ate mukama unamugamba bwati. The original intention you have not got it, but the author is trying to say that even the righteous suffer. So he's cutting the fundamental belief in Deuteronomic theology that evil comes to those who are unrighteous. Now, how does he do it? Now, this book is according to the genre means the categorization of the different way of writing. There are different forms of writing. Someone can write poetry, another one can write prose, another one can write folk tale. You see, all those are styles. So they're important in translating. I mean, in interpretation. So this book, surprisingly, it has got two. It has got prose, which is literal writing. Literal writing. So the epilogue, the introduction, which is called the epilogue, chapter 1 and 2. Those are the introductions. They are in prose. They are in literal format. And then the final chapter, where we see Job getting what? Getting the multiple daughters. They are beautiful than those ones. You understand? So he writes it in literal. But the middle part from chapter 3 towards the second last chapter at the end, it is in poetry. He writes it in poetic form. So he's communicating. His communication is that's how he has done it. Now, why? Because he's not the inventor of the story of Job. The story of Job existed a long time in the Middle East. In fact, not only Job, there were three people. Number 1, Noah. Number 2, Daniel. Number 3, Ezekiel. So you will find them. Let us read Ezekiel just to prove that. In Ezekiel chapter 14. Ezekiel chapter 14. Verse. Let me get my verse. 14. 14. Probably 20 years.
14. Even if these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they could save only themselves by their righteousness.
Now, do you hear that verse? That verse is very dangerous. So you begin from 13. Yeah, 13, huh?
Okay. From 12. The word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, if a country sins against me by being unfaithful, and I stretch out my hand against it to cut off its food supply, and send famine upon it, and kill its people and their animals, even if these three men, that is Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they could save only themselves by their righteousness. Declares the sovereign Lord.
Yes, so these people were known in the Middle East. Their stories were there: Daniel, Job, and Noah. And that what that text shows us, that they were known to be what? to be righteous. You understand? There's no way someone expects a righteous person to do what? To suffer. So this man sits down, writes a story, and he's bringing Job suffering. You understand? Yes. So he's using a story that was known in the Middle East, and he's using it to communicate what? A message. And his message is touching about every man's situation. He's saying that Job is every man. Job is every man. Every man, today or tomorrow, will go into what? Into suffering. The disease will come. Your children will get another. Will be involved in an accident. Your property will go. But all that does not go. Number one, because of a curse you have with God. Yes, you don't relate that to a curse. Number two, it is not related to a relationship, to the plans, to the things you need to have fulfilled between you and what? And God. Yes, problems have causes, situations have causes. So yes, and some of these situations can be prohibited. Yeah? Can be prophylaxis. You know what the word prophylaxis means? Prophylaxis is a medical term. Prophylaxis. Before it's prophylaxis. If there is a problem you are seeing, you can prevent it. If you are going into a malaria endemic, if a Mzungu is coming to Uganda, we can give him drugs that protect him from getting malaria. Because the Mzungus are very liable to malaria. When they come here, even one parasite will kill them with their blood. You see? They are not like us. If we do a BS, some of you might find a parasite, one or two. But you are walking normally. But a Mzungu, the moment he gets one, you can give them prophylaxis, you give them drugs, protect them from that. You see? How you prevent. Yes. In medicine, there is too much protection against things that we think are not going to be good to the family. Yes. A family comes, a couple comes, and then we do counseling, which is called antenatal care. Here, antenatal care in Uganda is not complete because they don't do everything they're supposed to do because of the facilities and resources. But they're supposed to screen even the genes of the child to see does the child have Down syndrome. There are those syndromes that are going to bring suffering in that family. The moment that child arrives like this, you're going to suffer. All your riches are going to be affected. Yeah? You see? Because of that condition the child has. You're always going to be in the hospital. These are not new. We're always seeing families. That family, yes, they have some money, but because of the child, all the money, they're always in the hospital. Day in, day out. Their files are known. Oh, yes, come back. In fact, in medicine, there is even a phrase that this is a known diabetic. They're trying to say that he's known. They are always here. You understand? Suffering can be prevented. It has a cause. That's the point. Suffering should not be attached to a relationship with God, as it was in Judaism, as it is still today. You shouldn't go to church because you are suffering. And then, yes, someone, if he's not suffering, does not surface. Those are the relationships we still have with the suffering. We still attach it to what? To God. Yeah? He is the only one who can solve it, so let me come. When it is no more, you don't have. So, Job is trying to create what? A clean environment for spiritual growth. If you be determined to get interest in God on your own, yes, but let me learn about this God. Yes, but he is not attached to any suffering you're going through. Yes, and so it's consistent with the New Testament. You see why these ones are called wisdom literature. No wonder the gospel is wisdom. Christ is the wisdom of God. Are you understanding? You see, in the New Testament we are reaching a climax of wisdom in Christ. Yes, so no one sinned. No one should suffer. No one should suffer because of what? Of his relationship with God. Because God does not lead anyone into what? To temptation. God does not lead us to temptation. In fact, we have the victory over temptation, over the evil one through Christ. You understand? We have that victory as Christians. Yes, so God does not hold us accountable. You don't have a TV because of God. Katonda wanaba yagati yes. Katonda tabirimu. It's you. You sit down with yourself and find out when you should have a TV. You understand? A motorcar, yes. A car is my responsibility. Either I'm prioritizing something else. I'm prioritizing something else, and it's time to prioritize the car. It is my responsibility to get a car. Nesi Katonda bwanaba akoze ki? Ayagadde.
Dirwagana.
Katonda tali involved. Ayagala obeere buki bulungi. Yes. So the New Testament uses two verbs. He makes it rain. Number one, he makes it rain. Two, he shines. He makes it shine. Now, there is one common thing about these two, that the rain can be felt. You understand? The rain can be felt. The sun can be felt. Ebintu ebiva eri Katonda, they are feelable. It's not a matter of prayer. Si kusaba na kale nkusabidde. Katonda tatusabira. He makes it rain. Tangible things, he makes it rain. He makes the shine on us, both good and bad. You understand? So when you're approaching the book of Job, that should come into your mind, that the author has that as his main point. He's solving a problem in Judaism, where curses and blessings are attached with on one's relationship with God. Job is saying, no, even the righteous can suffer. God bless you.